Blake, it's so good to see you. I'm gonna start off with a request that someone else made that I'm gonna, I've been sitting in the ER for 6 hours, waiting for admittance to the psych ward. Not helpful. A psychiatrist states, you do realize you're singing out loud. You know, some people might think you're strange for doing that. Not helpful. She tells me I have PTSD while she answers her cell phone 3 times during a 20-minute interview. Not helpful. Getting kicked out of therapy for punching a hole in that counselor's wall. Not helpful. My hospital roommate talking a mile a minute, wringing her hands, pacing between our beds. Not helpful. The doctor has checked off enough boxes. Now each morning, pastel pills appear at my bedside whispering, surrender. Surrender. Your responsibility to yourself. We can shoulder the blame for your insanity. 10 years later, the FDA states, do not give antidepressants to young adults, for they may desire to kill themselves even more than they did before. Watch out. This shit makes you dizzy. My thumb twitching like a divining rod, discovering deep-dwelling water. I drink gallons of water a day. My thirst unquenchable, endless, joint-popping, tooth-grinding, jaw-clenching. I am unhinged, incapacitated, still sex. Switching from slick and sweet to stabbing, clutching pain. Still thirsty and throbbing. I twitch and grind myself to sleep. Still broken, unfixable, crazy, lazy, irresponsible, unmotivated, scary, unnerving, disarming, unlovable. Give up your dreams. We will hope for you. Swallow your mental straitjacket, your communion of psychiatrics and stigma in hopes of hope, in hopes of help. I didn't start lighting my arm on fire or punching holes in walls until after I started taking medication, which left me suspended in sugarless, dense, marshmallow fog. I see your question edging towards me. I feel nothing. Rush to the bar, fist clenched till the whiskey comes, chase it with a beer, order another whiskey, flirt with those boys on my left, those girls on my right, bring them home and raw animal, fuck them, fuck, to distance, to split, to forget, to survive, fuck, to keep the blade off my skin that night, fuck, to get to the deepest place the quickest way I know how, fuck for punishment, and I don't even know what I've done wrong. This is not helpful. What's helpful is this: a psych ward orderly, without shame or threat, mercifully keeps me from sinking my fingernails into a fig-sized 3rd-degree burn on the inside of my elbow, a cup of coffee, a gift from a fellow psych ward patient, waiting for me by my bedside when I woke up from a triple dose of tranquilizers, my cross-the-hall neighbor from my college dorm, whom I have known for only 3 weeks, coming through the front doors of 6 North carrying my teddy bear, saying, here, I thought this might be helpful. You don't have to know what to say or how to save me. You don't need to do this perfectly. Just do this. Ground love to our sweating, panicked backs and the places we occupy. Don't leave until we can stand up and leave with you. Bring warm drinks and patience. Bring a pillow and the tissue box. This is what is helpful, please. Singing out loud is not pathological. Do not throw blankets over our fire. You will not extinguish us. Instead, fortify our surrounding earth. Build a pit of stone and mud. Help us contain our fire. Because God knows this world needs fire.
Nice.
I can just read a poem. I'm going to read you a poem. I am clutching a clear orange pharmacy bottle. 4 ounces of pink capsules inside. The label reads, lithium carbonate, 300 milligrams. Take 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 3 at night. Take this with food. Take this for years. Take this after the Depakote makes you too fat for a prom date. Take this after the Depakote makes you lactate and your mother's standing stern over you in the bathroom, waiting for a drugstore pee stick to back up your truth. Take this and forget how to feel. Take this because we said so. Take this because, oh my God. Take this. Take this because you're broken. Take this because we said so. Take this or we will make you. Take this or we will take you away and make you. Take this when you are 15 and in so much pain that we can't stand to be with your presence. Take this because you make us feel things we can't stand. You make us feel things we can't understand. This picture is of my homeland, which is Miami, Florida.
Yay!
You can have your feelings and your opinions about Florida. I have mine.
You're wrong.
It's cool, but it's totally pretty, and it's on the cover of my book. Which means my next one is this one. Word. So speaking of Florida, this happened there. I don't think I need this. Her hat. Tell me. You choose your hat. Yes. Tell me, slippery tongue, casually, what gaudy, awkward chubbiness is worth in your black book. Tell me what happens to people who look like little girls when they surprise you with strength and disagreement. Tell me that if I were your kid and a boy, your belt and I would be intimately acquainted. My mouth would know the bottom of your cowboy boot. My heart would know what you presume to be fear. But I can read the contents of that presumption from here. It reads, rage, shame, broken, unknown, silent. And even though I'm not your kid, I still took what you said into my heart. Even though my ass is whipping belt scar free, my eyes and arms did not escape unwounded. Curses, a burnt brandy breath smeared on me, a joke on me like pie on my clown face. Children are so amusing. Everything is so much more amusing when you're wasted, like slapstick, like getting slapped with a stick. Like I've been washing this thing of cream topping out of my eye for 2 decades. Uncle, how I want to love you into shimmering pieces. It's just that you're so sticky. Bits of sick honey lick me, layer finding layer, till I collapse heavy through the gate, the front door, the kitchen, into my bedroom, choking glue and panic. My tits don't belong in your mouth. My body does not belong on your body. I cry out, Uncle, it's not you, but it is you, over and over again. I am searching for a breath that serves me in the warm darkness of a midnight bathtub. Hold me until my waterfall breaks between the space between my new skin and the old shed of translucent paper whispers. Stretch, ripping heart and fogginess away from smoky, self-discerning distance. I am soaking you out of me. Your self-loathing lies rise to the surface of iron-stained bathwater. Yellow bubbles of fat unmixing, emulsifying in reverse, separating from salty ocean and mineral river, from clarifying clay and stone bones of this being which I am remembering into someone I once wished I knew. I am becoming nothing like you. Okay, new shit. It's new shit that makes me want to throw up a little in my mouth, which means that I know it's important. So here you go. My breasts are volume knobs to my gender. Turn up for perky, for pussy, for femme clowning, for street drowning, for leather-worn combat heels and pink-fitted dresses, for thrift store fur and pigtail buns, for $100 of metal wire and emerald satin carving me upwards, for shaven and silky, plucked and stripped, waxed, ripped, painted, glistening, decked, adorned, for tits. Turned down for a silent walk down riverbank, for quiet questions and wind-stricken wonderings, hunched shoulders, hoodies up, for the silent eyes sliding over curves, for cigarette locked in jaw, for safety from all these men I learned never to trust, for protection of the only man I learned to trust, bound to my ribcage like armor, like honor, like desire to be taken for anything other than my body, for the serious, the intellect, the interest, the left, for shifty eye and jaw clench, for strolling skybound eyes, for boy, for man, for chest. Turn center for standard, static, the space between stations, for worn out yoga top, sports bra, for soccer mom and childless aunt, for too lazy or achy, for too many fucks not given, for giving up on body, sex, and fair love like it got squeezed out of 8-year-old lungs under 340 pounds of drunken uncle like toothpaste when no was a gasoline joke tossed into his lip brandy, for a questioning gaze, for the, what are you? For the, are you sure you're in the right bathroom? For desexuality and unfuckability, for hiding inside of neutral, for the safety of a sexless thing, for letting skin and fat and heat just hang, dangle, rest, be, for me.
Yeah!
I have to admit, I was a little chicken shit last night when I read this. There were parts I skipped and I finished early, and I apologize. I'm here to be completely brave with you all right now.
Woo!
I'm gonna read the whole fucking thing. And Deanne's gonna play some tunes behind it, so I hope you enjoy this.
Ouch!
You will plan for days the to-do list, the bus route, the location of the train station you have never been to, exactly how and when you will break a $10 bill into silver and paper that feeds the machined creatures in which you will travel, that holds your opening, curious eyes, that carries you through an ever-changing town full of pride and rising amnesia. You will sit on the couch the entire length of Christmas Day, ignoring said to-do list for the raindrops, rhythming your rooftop. At the slow stream of Seattle, once again rivers you open, dares you to breathe, to acknowledge the anxious hollow batting around your heart like a rotting peach. You will forego the invites of the people who love you for the cold shiver of lonely. Nothing has ever quite carved you this way. And besides, it's time to remember how to be deeply alone again. After all, you have been called home. You will pendulum between a distancing excitement and an incredulous fear, snarky, dismissive disdain, and a craving to join in on bonding about shitty weather and terrible traffic and the fresh crop of dense, unaffordable housing, because it's easier to leave something when it's got shit for brains, you know? When there's something wrong with it, when it's got some problems to work out. But the rain and the quiet and that fat buzzing fly only bring out the hunter green of the firs. Outside, a low gray cloud pulls across the rocky coastline like a sentinel, its watch falling through bark and sand and asphalt. The gulls have been circling the backyard for days. You watch as one forces an entire cheese sandwich down its throat so it doesn't have to share. You will suddenly inhale nothing but vodka for minutes. The smell leaking from your sweatshirt, even though you and the sweatshirt have not been near liquor for years, you will be ghosted by spirits. You will choke on the empty knot in your stomach. Nothing heightens your hypervigilance like drowning, and of course you will want to drink and smoke and chug coffee and pastry and pills. You will want to drive out to the swamp, throw down the blanket and the bag on the side of the road, suck back a tab of acid, let the sawgrass and hardwoods melt your sternum sweet, sweep out the screaming, grow the thickness of skin, grow the distance between where you are and how you feel about it. You will remember why you're going. You will remember that you are in fact going. You, over and over, you will keep reminding yourself that you are leaving because you know you will actually forget to get on the airplane. You know you are comfortable forgetting. You know that no one in this rainstorm valley knows who you were 7 years ago. No one here knows of the rabid, frightened pony you rode here on. You are restless and distracted when it is time to pack, and you realize that you have made a terrible mistake, that Miami and your stepdad and the house you grew up in has been and always will be equated to trauma. You recognize the hopeless finality in this belief. Recall all the ways that belief has been undone. Exhausted, with only 6 hours left before you leave this new house for an older version of home, for a day of buses and trains and planes, of walking and trusting, a red-eye to Atlanta, a breakfast flight to Fort Lauderdale. You shove everything into the hiking knapsack she gave you last year. Set the timer on the oven for 6 hours, then lay awake under the covers. 1,000 images, words, songs, movies, prayers, reminders tumbling in the darkness around you. The moon is full and has been staring at you the entire evening. The watchful eye of your pet rabbit, who died 2.5 months ago in your arms after 7 years of heart tending, after 4 moves in 2 months, after witnessing your backbone erupt into service of your heart. He had liver tumors for over a year. A twisted, wormy knot of anger he kept swallowing for you, so you could keep showing up in places you weren't noticed, places where swaths of agenda draped your face, gathered between your feet, made movement an impairment, every gesture a festering judgment. You will stuff everything into the bag she gave you. The last love letter she wrote you only 1 month ago on the plane. You will devour poems by a New York poet like you haven't eaten in days. There is a glass kerosene lamp inside your belly that only his fingertips know. The ground falls away into a sparkling sodium light spill of jewel box, water on window. The plane tucks into the gray blanket of Seattle December sky. You will cry out, no, wait, I'm not done yet. You are swallowed in gray, and then it is the moon again. The moon and star and one lone mountain. A still orca breaching the cloud line, its own solid prayer. You are in a place above the clouds. You cup moonlight into your full palms. Marvel how much deeper you can go when you write in second person. In the darkness of a space out of time, you are a treasure soak of fantasy. Clouds rippling under atmospheric waveforms, tracks left in the wake of a massive mythical horseshoe crab scuttling through the Atlanta sky. You will drink coffee and learn all about iPads. You will curse the black hole suck of the medical insurance industry with the pharmacist you are sitting next to. You will write into the night, all the way to Miami. That is all that city ever wanted from you. Even as your feet are miles from the earth, you are stepping closer to home with every moment. You will hear this poem bellowing like a calf trapped for the slaughter. The restraints, 100 different reasons not to write any of it down. The metal hissing of engines increase along with the panic and volume of this poem. What if all you want to do is write? What if all you must do is speak, is tell, is offer a story? I'm gonna read you one more poem. Thank you so much, Salt Lake. This has been so fun. I love being here. I'm gonna remember what poem I'm gonna read to you. Oh my God, that one, yes. Here it is, it's in the book. I hope you like this one. I like you all a lot. This one starts with an epitaph. Did I say that right?
Epitaph, right?
I want to say that word so many different ways, but it's spelled really cool. An epitaph. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Leonard Cohen. You clap for Leonard Cohen.
Yeah! Who was that guy?
I found God in chemistry class. Here I am, new to 9th grade in the concepts of independent thinking, sitting in chemistry class being lectured on the content of things. What are we humans made of? Sliding down the spectrum of deconstruction, we've got organs, cells, organelles, molecules and atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons, neutrinos, and quarks. Suddenly, I am off the deep end. Awestruck, slack-jawed, stunned, staring into infinity. And the inquiry begins. How is it that there is more space inside of an atom than there is actual matter? And how is it that all this space and tiny bits of matter yield themselves to this gravitational dance between dynamic, zooming electrons and magnetic cuddling clusters of nuclei? What holds all that together? See, an atom knows what it needs to exist, and it will always find the easiest route to getting those needs met, which is to sit down next to another atom, scooch in a little closer, and swap electrons like peanut butter sandwiches on the playground.
Sexy.
See, the way an atom becomes whole is to become open, hollow-wristed, naked in its element, trembling with trust that one day it will be filled by an electron, a force all its own, freestanding agent of divine flow, unquenchable shooting star barreling through space, leaving light waves in their wake. They go where they are needed. They create kamikaze balance in this seemingly full force of chaos, holding us all together by their willingness to be attractable and held on to for as long as needed by their sheer devotion to light. And this all winds up making sense, that we consist of complete chaos, set to a rhythmic pulse of waveform cycle in true need of connection. I feel like a hot-colored preacher just thinking about that moment. But God does not let you look into their face without catching you on fire and consuming you at the same time. So, when that cosmic God face dropped into my 9th grade heart, all I wanted was to be a part of everything. To fling myself wildly through space, to go where I was needed, to be a force of change that balanced things out. Dear God, make me an electron. But if I can't be an electron, then dear God, please send me one. This naked, quivering atom is all you see before you. All this space is drying out my insides. My nucleus is cracking open, splitting into nuclear fission, and I hear a thing like that can wipe the face of the earth clean. And if it is so, then my true nature is to be a force of that much destruction. But dear God, please make it clean, make it quick, make it brilliant, make it last. I hear that cracks are the way the light gets back in. I hear that the universe is made up not of atoms, but of stories. So may our cracking nuclei birth light back into this world. May the telling of our stories be a force of change that balances things out. Thank you so much, Salt Lake. This is my chapbook. I was told to promote the fuck out of it. Woo!
Yeah!
That's what it looks like. It's over there. It's $10.
Oh!